elaborate mental scenarios, her mind a labyrinth of potential outcomes, some radiant with possibility, others shadowed by fear. Each time she listen for just one night, and something within you begins to quietly reprogram itself. In subconscious reprogramming, you enter the state where the mind is most open, where deep patterns can shift without effort. Let it play as you sleep, and your life will never be the same when you awaken. Subconscious reprogramming. Introduction. The night breathes differently when you understand its secret language. Your subconscious mind, that vast, unexplored territory within you, is not sleeping, but listening. It is an ancient receiver, tuned to frequencies beyond ordinary perception. Imagine your consciousness as a radio tower, constantly transmitting and receiving energy. Every thought, every whispered intention becomes a signal traveling through the invisible networks of universal intelligence. The law of attraction is not an external force, but an intrinsic rhythm of your own being. When you surrender to the night's quietude, something extraordinary happens. The barriers between your conscious mind and deeper wisdom dissolve. Your subconscious becomes a fertile ground where new beliefs take root, where old limitations crumble like aged stone walls. In this sacred space between waking and dreaming, you are pure potential. No limitations exist here. No past stories can constrain you. You are simply consciousness, receiving and creating. Each breath becomes a transmission. Each moment of stillness, an invitation. Your body may rest, but your inner creator is luminously awake, weaving new realities with threads of pure intention. Listen, not with your ears, but with the silent awareness that resides beneath thought. Feel how each word penetrates beyond surface understanding, resonating in the depths of your cellular memory. You are learning a language older than words, the language of vibration, of pure energy, of unlimited possibility. Before we get into the book, comment, I am ready, to affirm your intention to the universe. Part 1, Awakening the Inner Listener. Chapter 1, The Night Whispers Back. The universe speaks in whispers, and your inner landscape listens with remarkable precision. Every thought you nurture carries a vibrational signature, a secret language that your subconscious translates into lived experience. Consider Millie, a young woman whose dreams were portals to unexplored territories. Night after night, she traveled through landscapes she had never physically witnessed. Verdant valleys, misty mountain ranges, coastal towns with weathered lighthouses. These were not mere fantasies, but echoes of her deepest unspoken desires. One evening, as moonlight filtered through her window, Millie realized her dreams were more than random imagery. They were conversations between her conscious wishes and the infinite intelligence of the universe. Her thoughts, charged with emotion, were creating vibrational imprints that her subconscious was meticulously sculpting into form. The law of attraction does not respond to desperate pleading or scattered thinking. It responds to the frequency you consistently emit, the emotional tone of your inner world. What you believe with unwavering certainty, you begin to attract. Clyde's experience mirrored this universal principle, though his classroom was a modest garden patch behind his small cottage. He noticed how some seeds flourished while others withered, not from lack of physical water, but from the emotional energy he invested. When Clyde approached his garden with loving awareness, plants seemed to drink in his gentle attention. Seeds he forgot, or approached with anxiety, remained dormant. Those nurtured with calm belief burst forth with vibrant life. His garden became a living metaphor for manifestation. Growth follows emotional nourishment. Your subconscious operates like fertile soil. What you plant, through consistent thought and feeling, will inevitably take root. Anxiety creates barren ground. Relaxed belief creates abundance. To live a consciously designed life, you must learn to water your visions with tranquil expectation rather than desperate grasping. Trust that the universe responds to your inner state, not your external demands. Practice. Let your final thoughts before sleep be gratitude for one tiny miracle already present. Whisper it until you feel calm, as though the universe were sighing in agreement. Chapter 2. Dreams as Mirrors. Chapter 1. The Night Whispers Back. Continued. You stand at the threshold of understanding, where the veil between your waking consciousness and the vast landscape of your inner realm becomes translucent. Dreams are not mere phantoms dancing in the night, but intricate messages woven by the deepest part of your being. A sacred language that speaks when your conscious mind grows still. Pearl's journey illuminates a universal truth. Your nocturnal experiences are not random tales, but carefully crafted transmissions from your subconscious. Each dream is a holographic projection, reflecting the vibrations you cultivate during your waking hours. When worry dominates your daylight thoughts, your dreams become tapestries of anxiety, rehearsing scenarios that reinforce your deepest fears. But what if you could transform this nightly ritual? What if your dreams became a sanctuary of healing, a realm where your most profound intentions take shape? Calvin's transformation offers a glimpse into this possibility. Where once he saw dreams as disconnected fragments, he now recognizes them as deliberate communications from his inner wisdom. Each symbol, each seemingly nonsensical scene, carries a message, a gentle nudge guiding you toward wholeness. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish between reality and imagination. It responds to the emotional frequency you emit, creating dream scenarios that are essentially manifestation rehearsals. When you approach your dreams with curiosity and reverence, you begin to decode the subtle language of your inner self. The universe communicates through metaphor and symbol. Your dreams are its whispered conversation, inviting you to listen beyond the literal and tune into the vibrational wisdom that pulses beneath surface awareness. Practice. As your eyes close tonight. As your eyes close tonight, softly affirm that your dreams reflect your joy, not your fears, and give thanks to the part of you that always listens. Breathe deeply. Let your breath become a bridge between your conscious and subconscious realms. Whisper to yourself, "My dreams are messages of healing. They guide me toward my highest good." Allow each breath to release the day's tensions. Feel gratitude flooding your being. Gratitude for the wisdom that watches over you, the intelligence that works tirelessly to align you with your truest self. Chapter 3. The Heart That Thinks. Chapter 3. The Heart's Electromagnetic Symphony. You carry within you a power more potent than you realize. Your heart is not merely a vessel of emotion. but a transmitter of profound electromagnetic signals that reshape the very fabric of your reality. When Lottie first understood this, her perception of heartbreak transformed from a wound of weakness to a gateway of transformation. Lottie discovered that every emotional state radiates a unique frequency, with the heart emitting an electromagnetic field thousands of times stronger than the brain's signals. These waves do not simply dissipate into the universe. They communicate directly with your subconscious, instructing it on what to manifest. Consider Felix, a man whose life was once tangled in the thorns of resentment. When he chose compassion over bitterness, something remarkable occurred. His external world began to realign, mirroring the internal shift of his heart. Where anger once resided, understanding took root. Where judgment had grown, empathy blossomed. This is the master frequency of love, a tuning fork that clears the static of conflicting thoughts. It is not a passive state, but an active force of creation. When you truly feel good about others, you collapse the emotional barriers that obstruct your path. Your subconscious becomes a luminous receiver, attuned to serenity and possibility. Your heart knows languages beyond words. It speaks in vibrations, in silent understanding, in the quiet moments between breaths. Each genuine feeling of compassion sends ripples through the universal field, instructing your inner landscape to reorganize itself. The universe does not distinguish between what you consider real and imagined. It responds to the frequency of your emotional transmission. Your feelings are not weak. They are powerful instructions, blueprints for reality waiting to be constructed. Practice before sleep. Before you surrender to the night, rest your hand on your chest and remember one person who evokes gratitude. Let that warmth envelop your night, allowing the electromagnetic waves of appreciation to radiate from your heart, painting your subconscious with threads of pure, unconditional love. Chapter 4. The Voice Beneath Words. The language of vibration, how your inner sound creates reality. You have been speaking to the universe without truly understanding its native tongue. Words alone are but whispers. It is the tone, the emotion, the living frequency behind those words that truly communicates with the vast intelligence of your subconscious. Sadie discovered this truth when her carefully crafted affirmations felt like empty echoes bouncing against invisible walls. She would stand before her mirror, reciting prosperity mantras with mechanical precision. Yet nothing shifted. Her words remained flat, devoid of the resonant energy required to penetrate the deeper layers of her being. The subconscious does not comprehend language as your waking mind does. It perceives vibration, feels intention, and responds to authentic emotional resonance. Your inner world listens not to what you say, but how you say it, the musical current beneath your words. Consider George, the neighborhood shopkeeper whose life transformed through an unexpected revelation. Each morning, while arranging his small store's shelves, he began humming his intentions, not just speaking them, but singing them, allowing his heart's genuine warmth to color each note. His affirmations became melodic prayers, infused with joy and belief. Where once his business struggled, now customers seemed drawn by an invisible magnetism. Opportunities appeared as if summoned by his harmonic intentions. George understood something profound. Singing bypasses the analytical mind's resistance. When you sing your truth, You communicate directly with the subconscious, which recognizes sincerity beyond intellectual constructs. Your voice carries electromagnetic waves that interact with the quantum field. Each tone is a frequency, each emotion a signal transmitted beyond visible perception. The universe does not distinguish between thought and sound. It responds to the vibrational signature you emit. Sincerity trumps syntax. Feeling supersedes vocabulary. Your subconscious craves authentic expression, not rehearsed scripts. When your heart and voice align, manifestation becomes not a distant possibility, but an immediate reality. Tonight, as darkness embraces you and consciousness begins to soften, you will engage in a sacred practice of vibrational alignment. Tonight, hum softly the word love as you drift off, letting the tone cradle your thoughts like a lullaby to your subconscious. Chapter 5. Surrender is the real power. In the quiet theater of existence, you are not a performer straining to control every scene, but a graceful dancer moving in harmony with the universe's rhythm. Nora's journey reveals a truth that echoes through the chambers of human experience. True manifestation blooms not from forceful manipulation, but from the art of letting go. For years, Nora had been the architect of her own exhaustion, meticulously crafting each moment with surgical precision. Her days were a tapestry of carefully calculated moves, each decision measured and controlled, believing that only through relentless effort could she shape her destiny. But the universe whispers a different wisdom, that control is an illusion, and surrender is the secret key to unlocking life's most profound manifestations. When fatigue finally cracked her defenses, Nora discovered something remarkable. In the moments when she could no longer maintain her tight grip, something magical began to unfold. Her dreams started aligning, opportunities appeared without struggle, and life's currents began to carry her with unexpected grace. Arthur's story mirrors this sacred principle. A man who once believed solving every problem simultaneously was the path to success. He found true transformation when he learned to rest. His naps became portals of possibility, each moment of relaxation a silent invitation to the universe to orchestrate his desires. The subconscious does not respond to tension, but to trust. It listens not to your frantic thoughts, but to the quiet frequency of belief. When you release your grip, you send a powerful signal to the unseen realms, a message of faith that says, I trust in the greater intelligence that governs my life. Surrender is not weakness, but the highest form of strength. It is acknowledging that the universe is infinitely more intelligent than your limited perspective. Your role is not to control, but to align, not to force, but to flow. Imagine your intentions as seeds. When you plant them with gentle conviction and then step back, you allow the natural intelligence of creation to nurture them. Strain is the drought that prevents growth. Relaxation is the water that makes miracles bloom. As the night approaches and your body prepares for rest, you stand at the threshold of transformation. The day's struggles begin to dissolve, and a new understanding emerges. Manifestation is not a battle to be won, but a dance to be enjoyed. Practice. As you prepare for sleep, breathe deeply and mentally say, I allow everything good to find me effortlessly. Chapter 6. Frequency of Faith. In the quiet moments between breath and stillness, you discover the most profound truth of manifestation. Just as Daisy watched the candle flames dance with her breath, your inner state becomes the conductor of external reality. The flame represents your consciousness, delicate, responsive, yet capable of illuminating entire landscapes of possibility. Imagine your emotions as a gentle breeze, capable of making flames flicker or stand resolute. When doubt trembles through you, the flame wavers. When unwavering faith fills your being, the flame becomes a steady beacon of potential. This is the language of vibration that the universe understands intimately. Amos understood this secret long before his circumstances reflected his inner wealth. With an empty wallet, he chose to feel abundance. He didn't wait for money to validate his sense of prosperity. Instead, he allowed prosperity to pulse through his entire being. His inner wealth wasn't dependent on external validation, but emerged from a deep, unshakable knowing. Your subconscious does not distinguish between what is and what you believe could be. It responds to the emotional frequency you consistently broadcast. When you feel wealthy, generous, and fulfilled, even momentarily, you send signals that begin rearranging your external world. The universe is not a distant mechanism, but a responsive field of energy waiting to align with your most genuine feelings. The power of belief transcends logical understanding. It is not about positive thinking, but about emotional alignment. Your feelings are the language through which your deepest intentions communicate. When you truly feel something, not just think it, but feel it in every cell, you activate a transformative frequency. Certainty is not about guarantees, it's about trust. Trust that your inner state has the power to reshape external conditions. Trust that your emotions are not merely reactions, but creative forces. Trust that abundance is not something you acquire, but something you embody. Amos's journey teaches that opportunities are always present. They simply become visible when your inner frequency matches their vibration. Wealth, love, success, these are not destinations, but states of being you can choose in any moment. Your practice is simple, yet profound. Breathe calmly, repeating, "I believe because I feel it, not because I see it," until your entire body mirrors ease. Chapter 7, The Sleep of Creation. Your subconscious is a vast, luminous workshop where reality's blueprints are constantly being redesigned, and sleep is the sacred hour when transformation whispers its most potent secrets. Addie understood this wisdom intimately, noticing how her most vivid dreams always preceded remarkable shifts in her external world. When Addie slept, her mind became a canvas where limitations dissolved and potential painted itself in brilliant, unrestrained strokes. Her dreams were not mere fantasies, but intricate rehearsals of possibility, where her deepest intentions wove themselves into the fabric of potential futures. Henry, a quiet engineer with an intuitive understanding of subtle energies, discovered a similar phenomenon. He observed that by creating a peaceful soundscape before sleeping, soft instrumental music, gentle nature sounds, or calm breathing meditations, he could invite breakthrough solutions into his consciousness. The universal truth revealed here is that sleep is not a passive state of unconsciousness, but an active realm of co-creation. During these hours, your conscious mind's rigid narratives soften, allowing your subconscious to rearrange internal patterns with remarkable fluidity. What seems impossible in daylight becomes malleable in the night's gentle embrace. Your sleeping mind does not judge or resist. It simply listens and creates. It receives your emotional imprints, your hopes, your unspoken desires, your quiet truths, and begins weaving them into potential realities. Each breath you take while sleeping is a thread in the tapestry of your becoming. The practice of listening during sleep is not mere absorption, but a profound act of conscious creation. Your subconscious does not distinguish between what is and what could be. It simply responds to the emotional frequency you transmit. As you drift off, imagine golden light entering your mind, carrying your sacred wish gently into the night. Chapter 8: Whispers of Self-Worth. In the quiet chambers of your inner world, words are not merely sounds, but seeds planted in the fertile ground of consciousness. You have been speaking to yourself long before you understood the power of language, unaware that each whispered thought constructs the landscape of your reality. Clara's story illuminates a universal truth. Your subconscious does not distinguish between kind words spoken to others and harsh judgments directed inward. Every criticism you murmur becomes a blueprint. Every self-deprecating comment a potential instruction for your deepest self. Imagine your inner dialogue as a constant gardener, tending the soil of your potential. When you say, "I am not good enough," you are planting weeds of doubt. When you declare, "I am struggling," you are watering those seeds of limitation. Your subconscious listens without judgment, accepting each statement as a command to be fulfilled. Otis understood this principle intuitively. Where others saw barriers, he spoke as though success was already his companion. He did not wait for external validation to feel worthy. Instead, he chose to embody the identity of someone already successful. His words became a bridge between his current reality and his desired experience. The universe responds not to your wants, but to your state of being. Your self-image is the lens through which all experiences are filtered. When you truly believe in your inherent worth, the world begins to reflect that belief back to you. Worthiness is not a destination to be reached, but a truth to be remembered. Your subconscious is a powerful ally, always listening, always creating. It does not argue with your statements. It simply begins constructing the reality you consistently describe. Each thought is a brushstroke on the canvas of your life, each emotion a color that gives depth and texture to your experience. The transformation begins with recognition. Acknowledge that your inner dialogue is not a passive background noise, but an active creator of your lived experience. Your words are spells, your thoughts are instructions, and your beliefs are the architects of your reality. Tonight, as darkness embraces you and the world grows quiet, you have a sacred opportunity to reprogram your inner narrative. Whisper your name followed by, "I am enough," until sleep gracefully seals the statement, allowing this truth to sink deep into your subconscious, reshaping your inner landscape with gentle, powerful affirmation. Chapter 9: Magnet of Gratitude. In the quiet moments before sleep, your world transforms when you learn to whisper gratitude. You are about to discover a secret more powerful than any wishful thinking, the alchemical magic of acknowledging what already exists. Flora understood this mystery instinctively. Each night, she would take her worn leather journal and inscribe the smallest of miracles: the warmth of afternoon sunlight on her kitchen table, the unexpected smile from a stranger, the soft purr of her aging cat. These were not grand gestures, but delicate threads of appreciation that, when woven together, created a tapestry of abundance. Your subconscious does not distinguish between large and small blessings. It only recognizes the emotional frequency of thankfulness. When you focus on what is good, you signal to the universe that you are ready to receive more goodness. Flora's nightly ritual was not about manufacturing happiness, but recognizing the wealth already surrounding her. Leon's journey followed a different path. After losing his job, he approached gratitude with skepticism, a desperate last resort rather than a genuine practice. His first entries were mechanical. I am grateful I have food. I am grateful I have shelter. But something shifted when his gratitude became sincere. He began noticing subtle opportunities. A conversation with an old colleague led to a freelance contract. A chance encounter at a coffee shop introduced him to a network of potential clients. His gratitude journal was not a magical wish list, but a lens that revealed pathways previously invisible. The universal law at work here transcends mere positive thinking. Gratitude is a vibrational invitation. It tells your subconscious that you are abundant, that life is generous, that opportunities are not scarce but plentiful. Each thankful whisper reprograms your internal narrative from lack to plenty. Your neural pathways are constantly being reshaped by your dominant thoughts. When gratitude becomes your default language, you begin to see the world differently, not as a place of struggle, but as a realm of continuous blessing. The practice is simple yet profound. As darkness embraces you and sleep approaches, begin naming the blessings around you. Feel the warmth of your blanket. Appreciate the soft breath moving through your lungs. Recognize the silent support of the walls protecting you, the quiet hum of electricity, the comfort of your pillow. Let each blessing expand within you, growing like a gentle light. Allow gratitude to become your lullaby, singing you into a state of peaceful receptivity. Drift into rest by naming silently the blessings in your room, feeling them expand with warmth. Chapter 10. The Mirror Called Reality. In the quiet chambers of your heart, where memories echo like forgotten whispers, you carry stories that shape your world without your conscious knowing. Ruby's journey reveals a truth more powerful than mere coincidence. Your deepest beliefs about love create invisible blueprints that life faithfully reproduces. Her pattern of heartbreak was not a curse, but a mirror, reflecting the unspoken narratives she carried within. Each relationship arrived like a messenger, delivering precisely what her inner landscape expected. The universe, ever obedient, painted her external reality with the brushstrokes of her internal beliefs. When Ruby first recognized this sacred mechanism, she understood that love was not something happening to her, but something emanating through her. Her subconscious had been silently programming her experiences, attracting partners who confirmed her unresolved wounds and hidden fears. The transformation began not with searching for the right person, but with healing her relationship with herself. She learned to speak to herself with the tenderness she had always sought externally. Each kind thought became a gentle recalibration of her internal frequency. Earl's story mirrored this wisdom. Where once he anticipated betrayal and disappointment, he began cultivating an expectation of kindness. His internal shift was subtle yet profound, a quiet reprogramming of his emotional landscape. Strangers began responding differently. Doors opened unexpectedly. Conversations turned warm. Opportunities emerged where barriers once stood. Not through manipulation, but through the pure resonance of his transformed inner state. The subconscious does not argue. It does not debate. It simply receives and reflects. Like a perfect projection system, it displays exactly what you feed into its machinery. Your beliefs are the film, your emotions the light, and your experiences the screen where everything is revealed. To change your external world, you must first tenderly reconstruct your internal narratives, not through force, but through compassionate awareness. Each thought is a seed, each emotion, the water that nourishes it. As night approaches and consciousness softens, you have a sacred opportunity to plant new seeds of belief, to whisper to your subconscious the truth of your inherent worth, your capacity for love, your birthright of harmony. Tonight, say quietly, everything I see loves me back because I am the vibration of love. Part 2, The Art of Radiant Believing. Chapter 11, The Thought Garden. You stand at the threshold of creation, where thoughts are seeds and patience is the soil that nurtures transformation. Edna understood this sacred principle long before her garden flourished. She learned that manifestation is not a sudden explosion, but a gentle unfolding. Her affirmations were not mere words spoken into emptiness, but living energies carefully tended. Like a gardener who knows the delicate balance between nurturing and forcing, she discovered that impatience is the greatest destroyer of dreams. Each thought she planted required time to take root, to stretch tender roots beneath the surface of awareness. The universe operates on a rhythm far gentler than human urgency. Your desires are not fulfilled through forceful demand, but through consistent, loving attention. Just as a seed does not burst into fruit overnight, your dreams require a steady, unwavering belief. Walter's vineyard became a metaphor for this profound truth. Where others saw poor soil and challenging terrain, he saw potential. His whispers to the vines were not commands, but conversations of belief. Success was not something to be acquired, but a state of being to be cultivated. Each morning, Walter would walk among his vines, speaking words of encouragement. "You are strong," he would murmur. "You will thrive." His consistency was a form of spiritual irrigation, feeding the plants with the moisture of conviction. Where logic suggested failure, his persistent belief created miracles. Your subconscious listens not to the volume of your declarations, but to their frequency and sincerity. Repetition is the chisel that sculpts belief into reality. Like water slowly carving stone, your habitual thoughts gradually reshape your experience. Manifestation is not a sudden event, but a continuous dialogue between your inner world and the universal energies that surround you. Each thought is a signal, each emotion a frequency. Persistence is the amplifier that turns whispers into symphonies of creation. The secret lies not in grand gestures, but in quiet, consistent alignment. Your thoughts are seeds, your emotions the water, your belief the sunlight. Patience becomes your greatest ally in this sacred process of transformation. As night approaches and consciousness softens, you have a profound opportunity to plant your desires in the fertile soil of your subconscious. Drift into sleep, picturing fertile soil, accepting your thoughts, promising harvest soon. Chapter 12. Emotional Currency. You stand at the threshold of understanding a profound universal truth. Your emotions are not mere fleeting experiences, but powerful transactions that purchase your reality. Like a merchant in the marketplace of existence, you are constantly exchanging energy, spending and receiving based on the currency of your inner landscape. Imagine your feelings as living currencies, each emotion carrying a specific vibrational value. When you complain, you're spending coins of scarcity. When you express gratitude, you're investing in abundance's golden treasury. Your subconscious is the ever-vigilant accountant, meticulously tracking every emotional transaction. Gene's journey illuminates this principle with striking clarity. He discovered that chronic complaints were like slow leaks, draining his energetic wealth. Each grumble about difficulties subtracted potential from his life's account. But when he learned to transmute frustration into curiosity, something remarkable happened. His inner bank began to fill with unexpected opportunities. Curiosity, you'll discover, is a regenerative emotion. It doesn't deplete, it expands. Where complaint constricts, curiosity opens. Where frustration builds walls, curiosity builds bridges. Your subconscious responds to this shift immediately, recalibrating your internal worth meter. This is not mere metaphor, but a fundamental law of energetic exchange. Your emotional state broadcasts a frequency that the universe receives and reflects back to you with remarkable precision. Each feeling is a signal, each thought a transmission, each emotion a magnetic force drawing experiences that match its vibration. Consider how a single moment of genuine joy can transform your entire perception. In that instant, you're not just feeling, you're transacting. You're purchasing potential, investing in possibility, and signaling to the deeper realms of consciousness that you are ready to receive. The art of emotional alchemy lies in conscious choice. You can choose to spend your inner currency wisely, investing in emotions that expand rather than contract. Curiosity, wonder, hope, and gratitude are high-value currencies that compound interest in your life's experience. Your subconscious does not judge, it simply reflects. It is a perfect mirror, instantaneously encoding your emotional transactions into your lived reality. When you elevate your emotional frequency, you're essentially reprogramming your inner worth coding, and reality must respond in kind. Practice. Smile before sleep, letting warmth fill you as if you cashed a generous check from the universe. Chapter 13. The Color of Thought. In the soft landscape of consciousness, your thoughts are not mere whispers but vivid brushstrokes painting the canvas of reality. You are an artist of inner vision, wielding imagination as your most potent instrument of transformation. Hattie understood this secret long before she could articulate it. Where others saw challenges, she saw opportunities draped in golden light. Her mind was a sanctuary where problems transformed the moment they entered, transmuted by her luminous perception. When Boyd first learned to color his struggles with tranquil blue hues, he discovered something extraordinary. Visualization is not mere daydreaming, but a precise communication with the subconscious. Each mental image carries an emotional frequency that speaks a language more direct than words. Imagine your thoughts as living colors, each hue carrying its own vibration. Worry becomes a murky gray, but when you bathe it in soft lavender, it begins to dissolve. Anxiety might appear as jagged red edges, yet when you stroke it with peaceful blue, those sharp lines soften and blur. Your subconscious does not understand logical arguments. It comprehends emotion, color, and feeling. When you visualize with sincerity, you are sending a telegram directly to the deeper regions of your mind, instructing it to rearrange reality. The universe listens to your internal palette. Your emotional colors are not just passive experiences, but active creators. Each time you choose a brighter hue, you are redesigning your internal landscape, and external circumstances must eventually align. Practice dissolves resistance. Imagination transcends limitation. By learning to paint your inner world with intentional, soothing colors, you become the architect of your experience. Before slumber, tint your worries with lavender calm, watching them fade into luminous silence. Before we get into the next chapter, you can download a free ebook version of this audiobook using the link in the pinned comment below this video. Chapter 14. The Sound of Alignment. In the symphony of existence, you are both the musician and the instrument, continuously tuning your inner vibrations to create the melody of your life. Sound is not merely a collection of notes, but a powerful conduit that can reshape your internal landscape, transforming the very frequency of your being. Betty understood this truth intuitively. Her simple humming was not just a casual habit, but a deliberate practice of alignment. Each morning, as she moved through her daily tasks, she would emit soft, melodic tones, sometimes wordless, sometimes carrying gentle intentions. These sounds were not performances for others, but conversations with her deeper self. When Betty hummed, something remarkable occurred. The vibrations seemed to smooth out the jagged edges of her thoughts, creating a harmonious internal environment. Her subconscious, like a responsive instrument, began to resonate with these intentional frequencies. Stress would dissolve, clarity would emerge, and opportunities would begin to align themselves around her newfound inner peace. Ralph's journey mirrored this principle, though his path was through musical instruments. As a struggling musician, he discovered that his external success was a direct reflection of his internal tuning. When he began to play his instrument not just with technical precision, but with a profound sense of love and connection, something shifted. His music became more than sound. It became a transmission of his innermost feelings. The love he channeled through his instrument began to attract experiences that matched its vibration. Suddenly, opportunities appeared, collaborations, invitations, recognition. His career was not just progressing, it was blossoming with an almost magical synchronicity. The universe, you see, responds to frequency. Your thoughts, emotions, and intentions are sound waves that ripple beyond what your ears can perceive. They communicate constantly with the quantum field, drawing experiences that match their resonance. Your subconscious is a sophisticated receiver, always listening. It does not distinguish between what you verbalize and what you feel. It responds to the underlying tone, the emotional signature of your being. When you align your inner frequency with what you desire, you create a powerful magnetic field of attraction. This is not mysticism, but a profound understanding of vibrational harmony. just as a tuning fork can cause another nearby to vibrate in sympathy. Your internal state influences the world around you. Your conscious choice of emotional tone becomes the instrument through which you compose your reality. Allow the hum of your breath to settle into peaceful tempo before dreaming. Chapter 15. The Truth Behind Waiting. You have been dancing to the world's hurried tempo, believing that pushing harder would unlock your destiny. But the universe whispers a different truth. Alignment is not about force, but about receptivity. Like a river finding its natural course, your life's flow depends not on how frantically you paddle, but on how deeply you trust the current. May's journey illuminates this sacred principle. She had spent years micromanaging every detail, believing that constant effort would manifest her dreams. Her calendar was a battlefield of schedules, her mind a relentless general commanding time to submit. Yet dreams remained elusive, slipping through her tightly clenched fingers. The breakthrough came when she realized waiting was not weakness, but a profound spiritual practice. Anxiety creates static in your energetic transmission, while trust acts as a clear signal to the universe. Your emotional state is the antenna through which opportunities arrive. Claude's story mirrors this wisdom. For years, he harbored a dream of opening an art studio, but fear and doubt kept him paralyzed. He would sketch plans, then discard them. He would search for locations, then retreat. His internal resistance created an invisible barrier between desire and manifestation. Then something shifted. Claude stopped fighting time and started listening to his inner rhythm. He began to feel ready, not through external achievements, but through an internal sense of calm. His eagerness transformed into quiet confidence, and when that transformation occurred, opportunities began to flow with remarkable synchronicity. This is the essence of divine timing. It's not about waiting, but about being. Your readiness is an energy, a vibration that attracts matching experiences. Patience is not passive. It's an active state of trust, of knowing that what is meant for you cannot miss you. Your subconscious understands this language of trust far better than your rational mind's demands. When you soften your grip, you open channels of reception. The universe does not respond to force, but to alignment. Practice. Rest tonight, saying I relax into perfect timing, letting eagerness soften into faith. Chapter 16. The Alchemy of Forgiveness. You carry wounds like ancient maps, each crease a memory of hurt, each fold a moment of perceived betrayal. These emotional territories become familiar landscapes, so comfortable that you forget they are not your true home. Your subconscious mind records every story of pain, replaying them like a worn recording, trapping you in vibrational loops that disconnect you from your inherent power. Mabel understood this trap intimately. Her heart had become a museum of grievances, each unresolved conflict carefully preserved behind glass, preventing new energy from entering. Her sleep became a turbulent sea of unresolved emotions, waves of resentment crashing against the shores of her consciousness. The universal truth whispered softly is this: forgiveness is not about absolving another's actions, but releasing yourself from the prison of perpetual suffering. When you forgive, you are not condoning what happened, but reclaiming your inner peace. You are returning your energy to its natural state of flow. Luther's story illuminates this principle brilliantly. A business partner once betrayed his trust, stealing not just resources, but years of collaborative dreams. For months, Luther carried this wound, allowing anger to consume his creative energy. Every thought about the betrayal was like pouring salt into an open wound, preventing healing. Then, something remarkable happened. Luther realized that his continuous replay of the betrayal was giving more power to the very experience he wished to transcend. By holding on to resentment, he was energetically binding himself to the very situation he wanted to escape. The moment Luther chose forgiveness, something shifted. Not a passive acceptance, but an active release. He recognized that the energy he spent on anger could be redirected toward creation. Within weeks of this internal transformation, opportunities began appearing, not just matching his previous losses, but doubling them. Your subconscious does not understand complex narratives of right and wrong. It comprehends only frequencies. When you forgive, you reset your internal vibration, sending a clear signal to the universe that you are ready for new experiences, unencumbered by past limitations. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is profound spiritual strength. It is the alchemical process of transforming pain into possibility, of turning lead memories into golden opportunities. Practice. Before resting, whisper liberation. As you prepare for sleep, place your hand gently over your heart. Take 3 deep breaths, allowing each exhale to feel like a soft release. Then whisper quietly, "I free them and myself," watching peace spread through my dreams. Let these words float like dandelion seeds, carrying away old hurts, making space for new beginnings. Chapter 17, Invisible Choices. In the quiet landscape of transformation, you carry more power than you realize. Each moment presents a choice, a microscopic pivot that can redirect entire rivers of possibility. Your subconscious does not distinguish between grand gestures and tiny intentional shifts. It merely responds to the consistent vibration you emit. Effie understood this truth after years of believing change required dramatic upheaval. She discovered that true transformation resides in the smallest of moments. A gentle thought, a brief pause of compassion, a millisecond of choosing peace over reaction. These micro choices are the silent architects of your reality, reshaping your inner terrain with remarkable precision. Consider Kenny, a man who once believed momentum required Herculean effort. He learned that by simply choosing better feelings hourly, a smile instead of a sigh, curiosity instead of judgment, his entire external world began to rearrange itself. Where he once saw obstacles, synchronicities now blossomed. Where struggle once dominated, ease began to flow. Your subconscious is an exquisite listener, attuned to the subtlest frequencies of your inner dialogue. It does not weigh actions by their apparent magnitude, but by the emotional charge they carry. A moment of genuine appreciation carries more transformative power than hours of forced affirmation. A breath of true compassion can dissolve years of accumulated resistance. Think of your consciousness as a garden. Each thought is a seed, each feeling the water and sunlight. You need not plant entire forests at once. A single, carefully tended seed can grow into a magnificent tree. Your micro-choices are these seeds, seemingly insignificant yet pregnant with potential. The universe responds not to your grand declarations, but to your quiet, consistent vibration. When you choose peace in a moment of potential conflict, when you breathe kindness into a space of potential judgment, you are writing new instructions for your subconscious. These are the true moments of alchemy, where lead transforms into gold. Interpretation whispers a profound truth. Honor these small shifts. They are not mere drops in an ocean, but the very currents that shape entire landscapes. Your subtle choices are the quantum instructions that reprogram your reality's blueprint. Practice. Fall asleep acknowledging that minor goodness today becomes tomorrow's abundance. Breathe softly and feel the gentle momentum of your smallest, kindest choices. Let them settle into your subconscious like quiet seeds of miraculous potential. Chapter 18. The Still Mind Gateway. In the bustling landscape of your inner world, noise often masquerades as progress. You have been taught that action conquers all, that movement equals transformation. But what if the most powerful shifts happen in the quietest moments? What if stillness is not inaction, but the most profound form of creation? Hazel had spent years chasing peace through endless activities, workshops, retreats, self-help books, meditation classes. She filled her calendar with strategies for transformation, believing that each workshop would unlock her potential. Yet, the more she sought, the more elusive peace became. One unremarkable afternoon, exhausted from her perpetual pursuit, Hazel simply stopped, not in defeat, but in a moment of unexpected surrender. She sat quietly, not trying to meditate, not attempting to achieve anything. And in that unexpected stillness, something extraordinary happened. The core truth revealed itself. Silence resets inner frequencies faster than any external action. Your subconscious does not respond to noise, but to the pure, uninterrupted vibration of calm awareness. When all external demands cease, your deeper self begins to recalibrate, realigning with its natural state of harmony. Floyd's journey mirrored this revelation. A corporate executive perpetually surrounded by meetings and digital notifications, he discovered meditation not as another task, but as a gateway to effortless inspiration. Each morning, he would sit for 15 minutes, not forcing thoughts away, but simply witnessing them like passing clouds. What Floyd learned, and what you must understand, is that stillness is not absence, but a profound form of presence. It is not a pause in action, but an alignment with divine rhythm. In those quiet moments, your subconscious receives clear instructions, uncluttered by the static of constant mental chatter. Think of your mind as a still pond. When the surface is turbulent with waves of thought, you cannot see clearly. But when the water becomes perfectly calm, every detail beneath becomes visible. Your inner wisdom emerges not through struggle, but through patient, loving awareness. The practice of stillness is not about achieving a blank mind, but about creating space for your innate intelligence to communicate. Each moment of quiet is an invitation to your deeper self, a chance to reset, realign, and remember your intrinsic power. Your subconscious speaks in whispers, not shouts. It communicates through feeling, through the subtle language of intuition. When you learn to listen in the spaces between thoughts, you decode messages that were always present, waiting for your attention. Tonight, as you prepare for rest, You have a sacred opportunity. Focus on the gentle silence between your breaths. Let this silence be your golden portal, a threshold between your conscious mind and the infinite intelligence that guides your journey. Rest tonight, focusing on the gentle silence between breaths as your mind's golden portal. Chapter 19, The Vibration of Joy. In the symphony of life's challenges, you are learning that joy is not merely an emotion, but a powerful alchemical force that transforms reality. Your subconscious listens most attentively not to your struggles, but to the frequency of your laughter. Consider Nancy, a woman who discovered that when the world seemed to constrict around her, dance and spontaneous joy became her liberation. Each time life's weight pressed heavily upon her shoulders, she would move, sometimes wildly, sometimes gently, allowing rhythm to dissolve the tension binding her spirit. Her dance was not an escape, but a deliberate reprogramming of her internal landscape. As she twirled and moved, her problems would seemingly shrink, losing their menacing shadows. This was no coincidence, but a profound understanding of vibrational law. Joy magnetizes solutions faster than prolonged analysis ever could. Nearby, Chester embodied a similar wisdom. When setbacks threatened to overwhelm him, he chose humor as his weapon. Not a cynical mockery, but a genuine, light-hearted approach that transformed obstacles into opportunities. His laughter became a frequency that attracted similarly buoyant souls, creating a network of support and unexpected pathways. The universe, you must understand, responds to your energetic signature. Humor and joy are high-frequency emissions that cut through resistance like sunlight dissolving morning mist. They are not trivial responses, but sophisticated tools of conscious creation. Your subconscious does not distinguish between serious contemplation and joyful exploration. It simply receives and reflects the dominant emotional frequency. When you approach life's challenges with a smile, with an internal chuckle at the beautiful complexity of existence, you signal to your deeper self that you are not defeated. You are learning, growing, expanding. Chester's story illustrates this perfectly. Where others might have succumbed to stress, he chose lightness. His laughter wasn't denial, but a radical acceptance. Each chuckle was a reprogramming signal, telling his subconscious that he was resilient, adaptable, and fundamentally connected to life's inherent abundance. This is not about forcing happiness or denying genuine emotions. It is about recognizing joy as a powerful manifestation tool. Your higher self understands this intuitively. It knows that when you laugh, you are momentarily free from the tight grip of fear, doubt, and limitation. Practice. Drift into dreams smiling, picturing your higher self laughing tenderly with you. Chapter 20. The Circle of Giving and Receiving. In the intricate dance of universal energy, you are both the giver and the receiver, a conduit through which abundance flows. June's journey illuminates a profound truth many overlook. The art of receiving is as sacred as the act of giving. When she first began to notice her habitual rejection of kindness, she realized how tightly she had closed herself off from the very abundance she desired. Your subconscious learns through every interaction, every moment of exchange. When you refuse a compliment, dismiss a gift, or minimize your worth, you send a subtle message to the universe that you are not ready to receive. This resistance creates an energetic blockage, a dam that prevents the natural circulation of prosperity. Ray's story reveals the transformative power of generous spirit. Despite facing financial challenges, he chose to tip generously, not from a place of calculation, but from genuine joy. Each time he offered money with a light heart, he broke through the scarcity mindset that had previously imprisoned his potential. The universe responded not to the amount, but to the vibration of his giving, a frequency of abundance, trust, and interconnectedness. Understand that giving and receiving are not separate actions, but a singular flowing rhythm. Like breath moving in and out, abundance circulates through you when you remain open. Your worth is not determined by what you accumulate, but by your willingness to participate in this energetic exchange with grace and gratitude. The interpretation of this wisdom is clear. Abundance speaks a language of reciprocity. When you close yourself to receiving, you interrupt the natural flow of universal energy. Imagine your life as a river. When you block one stream, the entire system becomes stagnant. But when you allow both giving and receiving to move freely, you create a powerful current of manifestation. This is not about monetary exchange alone, but about all forms of abundance, love, support, recognition, opportunity. Each compliment you accept, each help you welcome, each kindness you receive with an open heart expands your capacity to attract more goodness. Ray's experience demonstrates that generosity is not about depletion, but restoration. By giving joyfully, even when resources seemed scarce, he restored his receiving channels. The miracles that returned to him were multiplied, not through magical thinking, but through the fundamental law of energetic circulation. Your practice is to embrace both sides of abundance's coin, to give with an open hand and receive with an equally open heart. Recognize that when you truly accept a gift, a kind word, or an opportunity, you are not being selfish. You are participating in the universal dance of energy, honoring the interconnectedness of all things. As you rest, mentally thank the universe for letting you both give and receive with grace. Part 3. The Night Becomes Your Teacher. Chapter 21. Listening with the Soul. You stand at the threshold of your most powerful guidance system, intuition. It speaks not in thunderous declarations, but in gentle whispers barely perceptible to the analytical mind. Polly's journey reveals the delicate art of listening beneath the noise of overthinking, where true wisdom resides. Intuition is your subconscious wisdom, unfiltered and pure. It emerges not from calculation, but from a deeper knowing that transcends logical reasoning. When you quiet the mind's constant chatter, you create space for these subtle inner signals to emerge, like moonlight filtering through dense clouds. Vernon's transformation illustrates the profound power of trusting these inner nudges. Where logic might have counseled caution, his willingness to follow gentle, intuitive guidance led him to unexpected friendships that fundamentally reshaped his financial landscape. Each small whisper, when honored, became a stepping stone to remarkable change. Your intuition communicates through feelings, sudden knowing, and synchronistic promptings that seem to arrive without conscious effort. It is a navigation system far more sophisticated than rational thought, connecting you to a broader field of intelligence that sees beyond immediate circumstances. When you overthink, you construct mental barriers that block these subtle transmissions. Polly discovered that her constant mental analysis acted like static, disrupting the clear signal of her inner guidance. By learning to quiet her mind and listen, truly listen, she opened herself to a more intelligent way of perceiving and responding to life. The practice of intuitive listening requires trust, not blind faith, but a cultivated openness to guidance that arrives without explanation. Your logical mind will always seek proof, but intuition operates on a different frequency, one of feeling and immediate recognition. Vernon's path demonstrates that these inner whispers are remarkably accurate when trusted. They are not random thoughts, but precise coordinates guiding you toward your most aligned experiences. Each time he followed a subtle prompt, doors opened that his rational mind could never have predicted. Your subconscious holds a vast reservoir of wisdom accumulated through experiences, cellular memory, and connections beyond immediate perception. Intuition is its language, a direct communication channel that bypasses intellectual filtering. Learning to trust these whispers requires practice. It demands that you suspend judgment, release the need for immediate understanding, and allow guidance to emerge naturally. Like a radio signal becoming clearer as you adjust the dial, your intuitive reception improves with gentle, consistent attention. The interpretation of this wisdom is clear. Surrender your need to control every outcome. Your inner guidance system knows pathways your conscious mind cannot comprehend. By creating moments of quiet receptivity, you allow these insights to surface. As night approaches and your conscious mind prepares to rest, you enter a liminal space perfect for intuitive communication. The boundary between waking and dreaming becomes a portal for profound insight. Before sleep, ask your higher self a question and trust the first gentle thought upon waking. Chapter 22. The Script You Forgot You Wrote. In the silent theater of your inner world, words echo like ancient whispers, carrying memories and meanings far beyond their original utterance. You are not merely a listener to these scripts, but their potential author, a creator waiting to rewrite the narratives that have unconsciously guided your journey. Tessie's story illuminates a profound truth. The voices that shaped your earliest understanding often become invisible architects of your current reality. These childhood echoes, fragments of parental warnings, societal expectations, or moments of unintended criticism, can become invisible chains constraining your potential. Imagine your subconscious as a vast library, where these inherited scripts are stored like dusty volumes. Each time you replay these narratives, you're not good enough. Success is difficult. People like you don't achieve such things. You reinforce their power. But what if you could enter this library and gently replace those worn texts with new, empowering manuscripts? Marvin understood this transformative process. Recognizing that his struggles stemmed from internalized limitations, he began a nightly ritual of conscious rewriting. Each evening he would sit quietly, identifying the old stories that no longer served him. With deliberate intention, he would mentally cross out limiting beliefs and inscribe new declarations of strength, possibility, and self-worth. The subconscious does not distinguish between what is remembered and what is repeatedly imagined. By consistently introducing new narratives, spoken with genuine emotion and belief, you signal to your deeper mind a new operational manual. Your inner system begins recalibrating, aligning with these fresh instructions. This is not about denial or forced positivity, but conscious recalibration. You are not erasing your history, but choosing which aspects of that history will continue to influence your present. Each time you consciously replace a fear-based script with one of empowerment, you loosen the grip of inherited limitations. Your subconscious is perpetually listening, always ready to be guided. It does not judge between what you think is possible and impossible. It simply follows the most consistent and emotionally charged instructions. When you begin authoring your own narrative with conviction, the universe begins to rearrange itself to match your newfound frequency. The power resides not in perfection, but in persistent, gentle redirection. Like a gardener tending delicate seedlings, you nurture these new belief structures with patience, compassion, and unwavering trust. As you drift into slumber, silently declare, I write new scripts of peace now. Chapter 23. The Glow of Self-Compassion. In the quiet corners of your inner landscape, where shadows of self-criticism have long resided, a transformation awaits. You have carried scripts written by harsh voices, fragments of judgment passed down through generations, whispers that echoed your deepest fears about imperfection. The truth vibrates softly. Every mistake is merely an unfinished invitation to growth. Your subconscious does not judge. It listens, learns, and transforms. When Jenny first discovered this, her entire world shifted. She had spent years berating herself for every perceived failure, each misstep becoming another brick in a wall of shame. But compassion is the universal solvent that dissolves these rigid constructions. Imagine your inner dialogue as a garden. Harsh words are thorns that choke potential, while kind thoughts are gentle waters nurturing seeds of possibility. Each time you speak to yourself with tenderness, you're replanting that garden. Clydene's journey illuminated this profound truth. Where once she saw flaws, she began to see learning opportunities. Her transformation wasn't about achieving perfection, but accepting herself as a beautiful, evolving process. The moment she embraced herself as work in progress, something miraculous occurred. Her anxiety didn't just diminish, it evaporated. Your subconscious listens to every whisper, every tone. When you replace criticism with compassion, you're sending a revolutionary message. I am worthy, exactly as I am in this moment. This isn't passive acceptance, but active love, a powerful frequency that rewrites your internal script. The universe responds to your internal narrative with exquisite precision. Self-love is not a destination, but a continuous practice of radical acceptance. Each gentle thought is a bridge connecting your current self with your most expansive potential. Your cells remember every word, every emotion. They are not just biological structures, but conscious listeners storing memories and frequencies. When you choose kindness, you're instructing your entire energetic system to align with grace. Interpretation reveals a profound truth. Self-love is the ultimate permission slip for abundance. By accepting yourself completely, you signal to the universe that you are ready to receive, to grow, to flourish. As night approaches and consciousness softens, you have a sacred opportunity. Settle into rest with a soft smile and tell every cell, thank you for keeping me through it all. Chapter 24. Shadows as Teachers. In the quiet landscape of your inner world, shadows are not enemies to be vanquished, but messengers waiting to be understood. Your insecurities are not flaws, but tender places yearning for your most profound compassion. Bessie discovered this truth when she began listening to her fears instead of fighting them. Each trembling thought carried a whisper of unmet needs, a delicate map revealing where love had not yet fully penetrated her being. Your inner landscape is not a battlefield, but a garden where every emotion, even those you label as uncomfortable, deserves gentle attention. When Bessie first recognized her insecurities, she approached them differently. Instead of pushing them away, she leaned closer. She asked, "What are you trying to tell me?" This simple act of compassionate inquiry transformed her relationship with herself. The shadows that once seemed threatening now appeared as fragile, wounded parts seeking understanding. Frank's journey mirrored this profound shift. He noticed how his jealousy, an emotion he had long condemned, contained valuable information. Rather than rejecting it, he listened. What emerged was not weakness, but an honest reflection of his desires, his unacknowledged aspirations. By befriending this emotion, Frank discovered it was pointing toward unexplored potential within himself. The subconscious speaks in the language of acceptance. When you embrace all aspects of yourself, the brilliant and the broken, the confident and the fearful, you send a powerful message. You declare that you are whole, that nothing about you is unworthy of love. This completeness resonates at a frequency that attracts alignment and opportunity. Your shadows are not separate from your light. They are the very soil from which your most authentic self grows. Each uncomfortable emotion is an invitation to deeper self-understanding. They are not obstacles, but bridges, connecting your surface awareness to the profound wisdom residing in your inner landscape. The universe does not judge your emotions. It simply responds to your energy of acceptance or resistance. When you meet your fears, your doubts, your jealousies with compassion, you transmute their energy. What once felt like a burden becomes a source of insight, a catalyst for growth. Tonight, as darkness falls and your conscious mind prepares to rest, you have a sacred opportunity. Greet any uncomfortable emotion with radical compassion. Whisper softly to those shadowy feelings, "You too are loved." Practice. Tonight, greet any uncomfortable emotion with compassion, saying, "You too are loved." Chapter 25. The Power of Presence. In the vast landscape of human experience, your greatest power resides not in elaborate strategies, but in the pure, luminous moment of now. You are not a collection of past wounds or future anxieties, but a living, breathing portal of infinite potential, always ready, always unfolding. Laura's journey illuminated this timeless truth. Presence is not a technique, but a remembrance. When you anchor yourself completely in the current breath, in the texture of this exact moment, you dissolve the illusory barriers between what is and what could be. Your consciousness becomes a clear vessel through which miracles naturally flow. Consider Bert, an artist whose creativity was once strangled by constant projection and planning. He would spend hours imagining perfect paintings, mapping techniques, worrying about reception, and yet his canvas remained frustratingly blank, until he discovered something revolutionary. True artistry emerges not from mental manipulation, but from total immersion in the now. When Bert learned to sit with his materials, breathing into the present moment, something extraordinary happened. His hand moved with spontaneous grace. Colors blended themselves. Brushstrokes emerged, not from calculation, but from a deep, intuitive listening. He was no longer trying to create art. He was allowing art to create itself through him. This is the profound secret of presence. It is not about controlling outcomes, but about becoming a clear channel. Your subconscious knows exactly how to align circumstances when you stop interrupting its natural intelligence with constant mental chatter. Each moment you truly inhabit becomes a quantum field of possibility, where synchronicity dances and miracles are born. The universe responds to your state of being, not your doing. When you are fully present, you emit a frequency of openness and trust. Problems that seemed insurmountable dissolve. Opportunities you could never have planned suddenly appear. Your energy becomes a magnet for grace. Presence is not passive waiting, but active receptivity. It is a dynamic stillness where you are simultaneously relaxed and alert, soft and powerful. You are not resisting what is, but flowing with it, trusting that each moment contains everything you need. The practice is simple, yet profound. Allow your breath tonight to anchor you in now, noticing how peace itself manifests. Chapter 26, The Infinite Yes. You stand at the threshold of transformation, where every whispered yes becomes a key unlocking hidden chambers of potential within your soul. Pollyanna's journey illuminates a profound universal truth. Rejection is but a misunderstood invitation, and your openness determines the universe's response. Once, Pollyanna trembled at opportunities, her heart constricted by fear's tight grip. Each invitation seemed like a test she might fail, each chance a potential moment of humiliation.
Hey Siri.